Why should you go to the Anti-Corruption Bureau and begin to intimidate people there instead of you coming into government with a sober mind, be humble yourself that people should believe that you are the right people? Should you say Democratic Progressive Party is the political party that cannot listen, cannot learn from the past mistakes? We know that Democratic Progressive Party did a lot of mistakes in the past. When people trusted you with responsibility in the past, you took that for granted. And today, you should not do the same thing. Malawians have given you the mandate to rule the country by voting you in large numbers. And today, we should be hearing about the stories that just after being voted into government, now you are misbehaving. It's too early, Democratic Progressive Party, for you to begin doing that. This is indicative of how hard you are in terms of changing of heart. Democratic Progressive Party should take this as an opportunity that you should maintain a good record this time around so that you can be a party that can rule this country for many years. Just 5 years for you to this country and to waste it because of misbehavior of a certain people in a political part of yours, then that's not good at all. Why can't you just get rid of the people that are going to destroy your political party and the government so that you can be a government that people can trust and love and support? Because this country needs to develop. Now, if we are doing politics right now, we are not going to develop. Malawi is in the situation whereby it needs a kind of serious action in order for this country to develop. And we should sanitize the politics, we should sanitize everything. And now to involve politics in everything that we are doing is not going to take this country anywhere else. Mister, if people are against you, please tell Malawians, did you do that? If indeed it is true that you went to Anti-Corruption Bureau and you did whatever you did there, is this true? Because we want to hear from you. Don't just be quiet. You are a senior member of the Democratic Progressive Party. Now, if you start to misbehave, then it means the whole Democratic Progressive Party is going to misbehave. And we're not going to see development. Actually, when we see you looking for welfare, looking for money, we just know that you are not the right people. Because this country must develop. Now, if we have got officers who are senior in government, who are going to be looking for their personal development and man to become too rich and the country to continue being poor, then this is not the right time, because Malawians are tired of having politicians who just want to have money, to have wealth, to become rich, to have possessions. We want people who are going to say, now we're not going to advance our own personal interests, but we're going to advance the interests of Malawians. If the politicians like those are around, this country is going to develop. But now we're hearing about the stories of certain individuals in the Democratic Progressive Party misbehaving. This is very bad. We don't want to have such individuals. We don't want to tolerate them to continue destroying this country. We need to begin to build this nation by leaving politics aside and taking much more concentration and seriousness on the development of this nation, because that's what is making us to become Malawians. And as we are having hope for the change and development of this nation, we are looking at having people who are not going to be eating politics every day. We don't have to be hearing about the politics, certain people misbehaving. This is tiresome to us. We are tired of this thing. We need to see things getting better for this nation to develop. If we remove the Lazarus Chakwera from the power, that was not a personal hate. That was just a need of change for the country to develop, because they were blocking the development of this nation in many ways. As the lives of the people were seriously affected because of the rising of the prices of commodities, and life was unbearable by then. Now, if we continue to do the same thing which Malawi Communist Party was doing, then forget about the development of this nation. Now, this is the time for Malawi to develop. This is our chance. This is our opportunity. We don't want to be hearing the likes of Nchancha to continue misbehaving in this nation. We know these people, they came into government without anything, and they got too much money when DPP was in power from 2014 to 2019. And today, if you would like to continue doing the same thing, looking for your personal growth and the financial prosperity, putting this country in a risk of not developing, then we are saying that we don't like you. And we are not going to tolerate such thing to block our prosperity in this nation. As a nation, we have decided to develop, and we're not going to do politics anymore. So let us develop our nation by not much talking of issues of my personal prosperity and gain and interest in the government, by always becoming so destructive in the blocking the development of the nation, because you are looking for personal growth, personal prosperity. We don't want that. Let the nation develop. Malawians should get better. We want to create opportunities in this nation whereby each and every Malawian can be able to live and enjoy in this country. Prosperity should be for all people in this country. Nobody should be taking much money, benefiting from the national resources, because he's an individual who has got an influence in the political party and the government. We want every Malawian to be inclusively involved in the development of this nation, and we should be prospering together. If that is possible, then we are going to be happy at the end of the day. But if there are individuals in the Democratic Progressive Party who are saying they're going to be prospering themselves, making Malawians to get poorer, then that's not what we're going to tolerate in this country. We want to see this nation getting better. This is our time that we have chosen Democratic Progressive Party to help us lead into prosperity, the nation to get better, and then we should say bye to poverty. Professor Peter Mutharika was preaching about the development of this nation, changing this nation to become prosperous within 5-year term, which he has been given as a mandate for him to rule this country. If now this is going not to happen, we're going to blame Professor Peter Mutharika and the all Democratic Progressive Party, and then Malawians are not going to vote for you again anymore. If UDF, United Democratic Front, is no longer relevant today, it is because they store a lot of money in this country, and they make this country not to develop because they were developing and prospering by themselves. Malawians were suffering, and we are today saying we are not developed as a nation because of the wasted time that United Democratic Front did. Now, United Democratic Front today is no longer having sign of political prowess in the power to influence politics in Malawi, because Malawians don't like them anymore. So this thing can happen to DPP, Democratic Progressive Party as well, if they continue to misbehave. And if this story of saying Nchancha went to anti-corruption bureau and the intimidate officers there is true, then think about it. Malawians are going to cast it into the dustbin, because we are tired of having politicians who cannot change. At least get rid of that rotten fish, and so that Malawi can develop. And if anybody else is going to destroy and block and negatively affect the vision of Professor Peter Mutharika, any person blocking him and affecting him negatively must be get rid right now before things get too difficult in the future, because DPP has got the pressure to make sure that it proves to Malawians that the reason we voted for you in large numbers is what actually you are doing to Malawians right now, by showing kind of excellence and the prowess and the prudence in the way you're managing the economy and managing the country as the leadership politically of the nation of Malawi. We've given the chance and the opportunity to rule Malawi, and so prove to us that you are better than the Malawi Congress Party. But now the stories that we're hearing just 5 days after you've been voted into Power's government, these stories are, I'm telling you, destructive and disappointing to Malawians. We want better from you. We want you to show to Malawians that you're better. Imagine Malawi is still poor today because of politicians that we are having. Malawian people have always been looking forward to the development and prosperity of this nation, but politicians have always been so much corrupt that the nation has never developed. But this is the time now we should develop as a nation. We've got the opportunity. Malawians have given a mandate to Democratic Progressive Party by voting for you massively, so that you can tell to the world that there is a country in Malawi which is doing very well. The Singapore you've been talking about, inclusive wealth you've been talking about. We want to see this thing happen in this nation. Remember, Malawi has good minerals. Malawi is peaceful. Now, why can't we utilize on these things for us to develop? Why should we be talking about poverty and hunger? Why should we be talking about diseases? And why should we be talking about Malawi is the poorest nation? When we can develop, politicians stop stupidity. Begin to understand that Malawians are good people. So if you are so good to Malawians as politicians, then the nation can develop. But the stories that we are hearing about in Nchancha, these are bad stories. And it's a bad indication to the nation of Malawi. Because we can have senior members in Democratic Progressive Party who are going to form the government, and they're going to be stealing and corrupt, and they will never be answerable to anti-corruption bureau because they're too powerful. And that is very dangerous to the development and the democracy of this nation. So we want such impediments to be dealt with before things get too tough in this nation. Professor Peter Mutharika has got an ample time to make sure that the nation develops. As is about to be sworn in on Saturday, you have got the good time to see who are good people that you can trust in order to run and manage this nation. We believe that as the President, Professor Peter Mutharika, you're going to do a job very well. And we believe in that you are going to be exemplary, and the Malawians are going to be happy because of your leadership at this time around. In 2020, Malawians didn't vote for you because they looked at you and saw arrogancy. and they were disappointed because whatever they expected from the Democratic Progressive Party and in new Professor Benjamin Tadiga was not happening. But now they know that as they did that by mistake, because we're influenced by other things that were happening that time, now they decided to bring you back into government. Now you are also doing the same thing that you were doing in 2020, in 2019, in 2014. Don't do those things right now. Make sure that you are today to prove to Malawians that you're better off. Malawi can be prosperous, and Malawi will be better. We just need to work very hard as a country in order for us to develop. As a country, we've got the opportunity that we can make use of the resources that we have for us to be economically transformed and to have a nation that is going to be shaped up in a right and perfect way, so that many people in the world will begin to look at Malawi as a shining star. It is possible, and Malawi can prove to the world that as small as it is, but it can develop by itself and become very excellent in development, and the world can come to Malawi. It is possible. Within a short period of time, Malawi, as it is peaceful, can develop and become the good example of how shortest period of development can happen in a peaceful and rich resource nation like Malawi. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Henrik on Henrik's TV. Until I come back with another video, remember, do not take politics into government and think Malawians are not going to see whatever you're doing. If you're a senior member in any political party, especially in Democratic Progressive Party, behave so that you can help to grow this nation, as people have entrusted you with the leading position of the government. As a political party, you can show maturity, and if there are individuals who are misbehaving, they must be dealt with and get rid of the fish that is bad, so that the nation can develop. We don't want people who are selfish, who want just to gain by themselves, so that Malawi cannot develop. Those people are not allowed. Thank you for watching. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.